Hello, boys and girls. Lord Hawkeye here again. This one is not for the statists. This one is for our good friends, the Minarchists. Now, we've often been allies, but there's often been a lot of disagreement between the Minarchists and the anarchists. And I think that's a real shame because the truth is, in all fundamental, in all important ways, we agree with each other. What do I mean? Well, when an anarchist talks to a minarchist about his views, the usual reaction that he'll get from the minarchist is, "Oh, but we need courts, but we need police, but we need military and all that sort of thing." But this presupposes that the anarchist position is that we shouldn't have those things. And, people, it isn't. I'm going to tell you flat out, it isn't. It is not like that at all. I don't oppose the idea of having police, courts, or military, and I don't know of any anarchist who does. Nope, not at all. So what's the problem here? What I dispute is the idea that these things need to be run by a violent monopoly, that that's the only way it could possibly work. I don't see any reason why that needs to be so. I've never heard a good explanation as to why that needs to be so. To put it simply, think of it this way. Let's say you have an established court system and everyone uses it and all that sort of thing. What if one day I look at the court system and I say, you know what? I don't think these guys do a very good job. I think I could do better. So I set up a business and I tell people, if you send your money to me instead of to that court system, I can do a far better job. I can be much more fair. I can be much more open, much more transparent. I can satisfy the needs of my customers far better than the established court system if you send your money to me instead of to them. So my question, so the acid question to the minarchists is, do you believe that I should be allowed to do that? If I think I could run a better military than the one here, should I be allowed to establish my own and compete with theirs? If I think I could run a better police system than the current one, should I be able to do that and compete with the current police system? And just ask yourself honestly, do you believe that I should be allowed to do that, or do you believe that I should be threatened with force for trying to do that? If your answer is I should be allowed to do that, well, congratulations, you're an anarchist. I know it's shocking, I know the word's got negative connotations, but for all practical purposes, you are an anarchist because you don't believe in a violent monopoly. You don't believe in institutionalized violence, even in the case of police, courts, and what have you. So, I think it's a real shame that we're at each other's throats because I don't think we really disagree. We really don't. If you really think about it, I mean, it's not, so next time you think an anarchist is a little too extreme for your taste or that there's any real disagreement here, just remember, ask yourself, it's not a question of should we have police or should we not. It's a question of should a police force be a voluntary agency or should it be coercive? Same with courts. It's not a question of should we have courts or should we not. It's a question of should the courts be a voluntary agency or should their will be forced on people. And if your answer is they should be forced on people, I just have one question. Why? Can you give me one logical, rational, consistent reason why police, courts, and military should be exempt from the whole force is bad rule? Because minarchists do agree that the initiation of force is bad. So ultimately you have to explain why do these three things get a free pass? And if you agree that they shouldn't get a free pass, well, guess what? You're part of the club, buddy. That's how it is. And I really hope that a lot of minarchists will think about this and think, you know, maybe you really are an anarchist and just didn't want to come to grips with it. There's no shame in it. Believe me, it's the greatest feeling in the world. But anyways, that's my talk for the day. Until next time, be aware and be wise.